Hey everyone, welcome back. As always, I'm Sum.
And I'm Cody, and this is Cody Sum, and we are the duo that does more than each other.
So I forgot to tell you,
You have wine?
I do have wine. Here, wait, let's do a little cheers. Cheers. I just saw today that they are going to be releasing a Practical Magic 2.
Oh, I think I read that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for September of 2026. I showed you that movie, right?
yeah, we watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I texted my sister because that's like one of our all-time favorite movies. And if you're not familiar, it's with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, two of the greatest actresses of our time. But the first one came out in 1998.
Okay.
So
I was 11.
I was 8 years old. So we're Evangeline, my sister's niece, is going to be 8 when that comes out. So we're like, oh, we could take her. I was 8 when I saw the first one, but what is that? Like 28 years later?
Yeah, and they look the same.
They look the same. Yeah, if you're not familiar, it's a story about witches and a witch family, and there's a curse about, any husband will die, like any woman that falls in love in their family, the husband will die. It's about them, and their journey.
It'll be interesting to see how that does, because I feel like
Yeah.
the movies in the 90s or early 2000s that we liked that were so cheesy and they don't. I feel like they don't do as well now. I mean, it's gonna do well based on the people who like the first one.
I think a
But
lot of the ones that I've seen, like they've done sequels, have been more, I guess off the top of my head, like comedies.
yeah,
Like when they did another Zoolander. I mean, I know they're doing another White Chicks. Like the things that were funny back in the 90s, early 2000s aren't necessarily
they're
funny
like giving the
now.
millennials their sequels.
Yeah, but we as millennials can still appreciate it. So
Yeah.
it's a great movie. So I'm super excited. I don't know.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. For those who are listening, I still have a job. I'm a structural engineer for the Department of Defense. And, the last 5, 6 years, we've been able to, I worked from home. So we did our social media and I worked from home and, my time was more flexible and I was able to get everything done. But, now with our current president, I have to return to office when my office is in San Diego and we live in West Hollywood.
Sucks.
So it's been happening since like February. So, that's why, I think for that first month or so, we weren't doing quite as much. I was trying to get in my bearings on my new work-life balance.
Yeah, we had just started season 2 of this podcast, and then Trump was like, every federal employee has to be in the office by next week.
Yeah, like overnight, my life changed
wait,
drastically.
What?
So yeah, but it's starting to. I'm not going to say normalize, but I'm getting used to it more, and so now we can start doing everything that we're doing. But I will say, I take my time home. I don't take my time home for granted, right? Like I used to.
Fair.
But you wouldn't know anything about that.
I haven't had a 9 to 5 in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, I've been working. I've been self-employed.
I've had a 9 to 5 for the last 15 years.
Yeah, I haven't had a 9 to 5 since 2011 when I was a bartender.
Yeah.
So, but it sucks, and I'm just here to be supportive. But we are back with this is episode 4 of season 2 of In Bed with Cody and Sum.
Here we are.
And
in our robes again.
Today's topic, after 5, 6 years of partying together, we wanted to talk about the highs, the hookups, the hangovers, and just our experience with gay circuit party culture.
Yeah.
And we are not here to cancel or shame it at all. We're just here to talk about what it gave us and also what we think it drained from us.
Yeah. I think at one point we were circuit queens, but I don't think we're that quite anymore. We like house parties and warehouse parties and
yeah. I mean, some people would consider a warehouse party a circuit party. I mean,
I don't.
A little bit of a broad definition. Well, I guess we could define, what do you consider a circuit party?
I mean, I don't really know.
Just like a warehouse party is not a circuit party, but what is a circuit party? I don't know. I guess like a broad definition would be an all-night gay dance party that you're listening to primarily some sort of like electronic music, house music, deep house music.
Yeah. I mean, would you consider a rave a circuit party?
No, a rave is an EDM festival that's geared towards straight and the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I like
no.
Rhonda. That's queer.
But like a circuit party is a one for gay men. You go, and a lot of times this music is it's like house music. It's like a genre of
Yeah.
house music, and
Well, I mean,
to me, it often sounds like pots and pans.
I think it's it's a type of music for me. It's like I classify it as a circuit party, like that.
Yeah,
That just one where it's not a lot of lyrics and just noise. I consider those
yeah.
circuit parties.
Ronda's
But
not a circuit party.
I like the warehouse parties and Rhonda and the stuff where it's like there's a beat and there's music and then like you can recognize the songs.
But
And
some people just who don't circuit a lot would just categorize any all night dance party with gay men shirtless dancing mindlessly, like that would be a
yeah,
circuit party to them.
yeah.
Where they're like, oh, it's
A
just
circuit party to me has like a theme and like everyone's
there's
dressed
usually
to a theme.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. The warehouse parties you just go in your normal clothes.
What was our first circuit party? Let's take it back to kind of where we started.
Well, I mean, World Pride. We met. I mean, well, we met at the Kygo concert, but that wasn't really circuit.
I guess our first circuit party weekend was Market Days.
Yeah, yeah, those are circuit parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So Market Days, if you're not familiar, is in Chicago, and it takes place usually like second weekend of August, and there's a party called Circuit Mom at this venue, and there's usually a theme each night, and it goes till like 4 or 5, and then from there everyone goes to the afters. That's the thing with like circuit parties. There's usually always an afters that goes from like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And then people get up and go to brunch.
Yeah. I think being a circuit queen too, it's like the people that go to every circuit party, like on Pride weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like bam, 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 which we have done. But we don't, if you go to one, I don't consider you a circuit queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really never looked at us as circuit queens because there are people that every weekend
would.
that they plan their events around the circuit parties.
Yeah.
I know that we've always been into variety. Like we've had where we'll go to the party, but then we want to go to the brunch, we want to go to the festival, we want to go to see the bars. Maybe we love to see shows. So
yeah,
I feel like we've always liked variety.
Yeah. I would think with the gay cruise we're on, those were all circuit parties for sure.
Yeah, definitely all circuit parties.
And we did go to all those. I think I missed one because I just was so tired.
It's good to take a break when you're going for 10 days.
Yeah.
You can't do it all.
For sure.
Yeah. So what do you think about like early circuit experiences together?
I mean, really fun. I feel like we had a blast, and then COVID happened and they weren't happening, and then that first year out of COVID, we kind of like went haywire because we were like indoors so long. So definitely coming out of COVID, we like did as many of them as we could for sure. And I just remember always having a good time. But my mind now, I can't wrap my head around doing quite as many.
What was your favorite one back then?
Oh my goodness.
When we first started going, what are some highlights?
Favorite one? I always liked Market Days. I don't know if it's the parties or if it was just the city. I've always liked Market Days. Always had fun there. I mean, Pensacola, the ones on the beach are so fun.
Pensacola did end up being one of our favorites.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about here in LA, the Glamcocks always throw a really good one. We went to a New Year's one. They usually have one at Pride. Those are fun. Before COVID, I loved Ospenhof. We met Kim Petras at an Ospenhof, which was so cool. That was 2019, so that was before COVID. But yeah, besides that, I can't. There's been so many. I couldn't really single anything out specific.
What's your thought process with like circuit culture and your experience like overall back in the day, back when we first started going, kind of post COVID, when we just started really saying yes to everything because we could.
I mean, when I was in it, I was like, "Oh, I can handle this." There were days when I was tired and stuff, but now looking at it, I'm just like, "Wow." Not that I'm judging anybody who's doing all those, but I definitely don't have the stamina for it now, and I can't believe I ever honestly
Ever
did.
did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just like what all
I'm
the
gonna lean back right now.
stuff
My back
all the
hurts.
stuff you're doing all the stuff you're doing, and you're just, like, high all the time, and it's just, like, days in a row, and, yeah, it's wild. I just also feel like even if we drink, my hangovers are worse than they used to be, so it's just like, sad as it sounds, it's an age thing a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that a little bit, but let's talk about some of our kind of favorite memories with circuiting. Um, Actually, I want to do like a category of three. So let's do let's do let's first do like a tender memory. So one was just like, you had a great time on the dance floor or whatever.
Probably Atlanta Pride 2019. We were at a circuit party. It was both of our first times there, I think, right?
Yeah.
And it was the first time you said that you loved me.
Ah,
So,
that
yeah.
was gonna be mine. Okay, so tender memory.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, okay, let me see if I can think of another one because that was gonna be mine. Um, we were celebrating New Year's and dancing, and it hit midnight, and our friends got a video of us like holding each other and making out and saying "I love you," and it was really cute. And that was just something that we actually have as a video,
Yeah.
and there's fireworks going off in the background above our head, and that was really cute. So
Mhm.
that was really tender. Okay,
Tender.
and then let's see. The second one would be a trash memory. So we're gonna do three T's. So,
Trash memory.
a trash memory where just like something just did not go right, or the night was just a mess.
I'd probably say the one where we went, it was like a Pegasus and we were in line, and then like SWAT team came and like closed the party down, and then we went to another party, and it just was, I don't know, the vibe was off because of everything that was going on. I don't know if
Hmm.
you remember that.
Which one are you referring
But
to?
it's like downtown LA, which is already, in the night, which is already like trashy vibes. But
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I've had any Fire Island. Um, okay,
2019.
yeah. Okay, so in Fire Island
Like 4th of
2019,
July. Yeah.
4th of July, you and I are just starting to talk.
Yeah, we met at
We
World
met at World
Pride like
Pride,
the week before.
and I went to Fire Island afterwards with my cousin and some friends, and then we were at Fire Island at the pool that they have. They're having the big party, and we're just dancing middle of the day, and all of a sudden, I guess this guy like got in the water and just like went sunk to the bottom of the pool, and no one noticed for like 20 minutes,
He drowned.
and he just drowned, and everyone's just like swimming and dancing around him so no one noticed, and all of a sudden people start screaming and he gets pulled out. I'm literally at a cabana and he gets pulled out of the water right in front of my cabana. He's like black and blue. I won't give any more gruesome details,
Do you know
but
every time I've
like
been there, I've that pool's never been open.
that pool, I think they changed a lot like after that happened, and I've also never seen people swim in it after that.
I've never seen one person, well, we've been 2 or 3 times. I've
Yeah.
never seen one person swim in that pool.
Yeah. So
That's
they were trying
crazy.
to resuscitate him, and he ended up having to get taken off the island. And I did find out later that he did pass away. So,
Oof.
scary. You got to take care of yourself. I feel really bad for that person and his friends. That was a while
Yeah.
ago.
Just gotta be careful,
Just got to be careful
what you're drinking and
what you're doing with
what you're
something that you're taking.
doing, and just, you should know your body and listen to your body, and like everyone's there to have fun, but can't
So,
get out of hand.
yeah, let's end on a lighter note. More of a okay. The third T is a transcendent. So any time where just everything was just the music, the lights, the everything.
I would probably say both utopias we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Utopia is a vibe.
Utopia's vibe.
Yeah, Utopia is a vibe. It's very curated sound, a very curated moment. I think that's what's special about it. It's not just
It
like
does feel very
it's
transcendent.
it's not just some like party that's thrown together. They pick a DJ and they pick a theme. They like they like curate these themes. They're very elaborate, and then they pick the DJ that fits the theme the best. It's very well done.
Yeah.
I do want to go back.
I would just agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. The 2 times we went to Poconos, it was amazing.
No, we went to Poconos once.
Or sorry, 2 times we went to Utopia.
Poconos, and then we went to Isla Mujeres.
Isla Mujeres.
Isla Mujeres, whatever. But for sure, it's probably one of my favorite moments for sure.
So let's talk about connection and circuit partying, because that's also a big topic, especially those who don't circuit or talk about not circuiting. You hear a lot of times people don't feel like they have the right body, or that it's just not for them because they feel like there's a
Damn,
certain,
half the times I feel like I don't have the right body.
yeah, there's a certain stigma that centers around the people that attend these events and the idea that people have of them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, one, I feel like if you're somebody who, you know, does have a stigma against people who go to circuits or warehouse parties and you've never been, that's pretty crappy, especially if you have friends that like to go, because then, it could keep people from going and, maybe finding out something they love. Just because you don't like it, or we're telling horror stories, but that's like 1% of the parties we've been to that those things have happened. And I feel like if you talk negatively about something, you never know who's going. You don't, you might be hurting someone's feelings, and everyone's just looking to have fun and find themselves. It's just, I think it's part of the like coming out process as well. It's like I came out and thought, oh, I'm gay, everything's good. And then just over time, it's like, oh, I like gay bars, or I like to go to, raves or any sort of thing. I didn't realize any of that until I was older, because I didn't go for the longest time because the people I were hanging out with were so negative about it, and they never even tried it.
Yeah, you
know?
you get people that go to raves, and they go to raves every weekend, and there's not like some stigma per se about the people that go, and you get your people that go to bars, and they go to the bars every weekend, and that's who they hang out with. But then there's this stereotype of like the person that goes to circuit party, they're just like this specific kind of person who's just shallow and mindless, and I don't know, it gets
Trashy, which is crazy,
it just
because
gets a
these
bad
parties
rap,
parties are so expensive. The people that are going to these parties are people with, a good income, a good job. These are like doctors, lawyers,
It's wild how much it costs, though, right?
it's costs so much money.
We're not doing it that much recently.
Like a cheap
but-
one is $100.
Yeah,
Seriously.
for one party.
One party.
But like looking back at like 2021, when we did, I remember we did like when we did EDC, which is that's a rave, but
yeah.
then we did Gay Days and we did Pensacola, but like I think we spent like $2,000 per weekend
It was
between
crazy.
tickets, flights, accommodations, and then you also got to eat.
Yeah.
So it's just
Eat, Ubers, like hotels, like it's
yeah,
it adds up. So
It adds up.
the people that are doing this are people that have their doctorates or are doctors or whatever. And it's so crazy to me that the people that don't go and have like this negative outlook on the people that go here, it's like these people are hardworking during the week and they're just trying to let loose on the weekends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that, and I think that when people are like, "Oh, they're shallow, they don't have anything to offer," blah blah blah. Some people do say that. Like these people, like you said, they're if those are the jobs that they have and they're working very hard during the week, they're just going to these parties to get fucked up
Yeah.
and just disconnect. Like they're on a bunch of substances probably that you don't want to talk to them right now.
Yeah.
Like they're just there to dance and disconnect and have a recess.
It's honestly,
For the most part, I think. I don't know.
like I'm guilty of this. I had such a negative outlook on Coachella. Like every year when people were posting Coachella stuff, I'm like, oh God, these Coachella people, blah, 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 blah. And then I went and I fell in love with it to the point where we own a home there now. And it's just crazy that I look so negatively on it when not only was I never there, I was never even on the barely on the West Coast at this point. Like I was it's crazy that I thought that way. And it just shows you how easy it is to just let someone else's negative opinion persuade you to think that way when you haven't even experienced something. And they probably haven't even experienced it. It also, s- stems from a lot of jealousy, and I can admit that too. Back
Mm.
then, I couldn't afford Coachella. I can barely afford it now.
I mean, now it's like triple the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to circuit parties where I've made a bunch of connections, and then I've been to circuit parties where I did leave feeling a little empty or mindless, or that I've been rejected at circuit parties. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, we have each other, and
It's
that's
different.
great.
And I think
And
I found my love more of circuit parties with you. I can't say I went to too many before you. You know,
there are so many couples at
also in
circuit parties. There's
Philadelphia,
so many couples at circuit parties.
it doesn't really have them.
Yeah.
If I went, was when I was in Chicago visiting Thomas, or when I was in New York for the weekend, or at a Pride somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't really have the option to really go to many, but I don't know.
What do you think
I
about like
enjoy them.
that it's
I get,
just a bunch of like muscle queens all the time running around?
I mean, I like to look at hot people, so I'm not going to complain. You know.
I feel like I go and I feel there's people that are bigger than me.
Oh, there's all kinds
There's
of people
people that
there.
are like smaller than me. There's all kinds of people there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Would I feel like when people
Honestly, I think going to circuit parties has increased the diversity in who I'm attracted to. When I first came out, it was like, oh, I like white boys. But now it's like from circuit parties and dancing with all these different types of men, like I like black men, I like Latino men, I like Middle Eastern men. I used to hate men with hair. I can even do a little hair once in a while now. I feel like it honestly, circuit parties is where, the gay community is very blended. And
I
I
do
can
think it's very blended.
appreciate that,
Yeah.
you know?
I walk around. I it is a sweaty mess. You're packed in there like sardines, and you have to embrace it. But I'm getting rubbed on by all different shapes and sizes of
Yeah.
people. I mean, you definitely get like the people that touch you without consent, and that's not okay. And I do quite often have to be like, nope, nope. But you know, it's not like it's the end of the world for me. I don't know.
No, but if you're with friends,
I
and you
mean,
tell your friend and they make a circle around you, it's not
yeah.
it's just like any other it's just like a bar or anything else, honestly.
I do. I mean, I love a good muscle guy that goes to a circuit party, but that's not all I'm looking for. I mean, I'm with you. And we're looking for, something together, but like we go to the gym, one to feel good, but like we don't get these muscles because we're trying to be the strongest man ever.
No,
We
I'm not
get these
trying to be in the Olympics or
no,
anything.
we get these muscles so we can get other guys with muscles to want to take us to Pound Town.
Yeah. It's just
That's
like
why we do it.
it's just like why you bathe. You want to smell good because you want people to think you smell good, or
Or you
it's
don't
why
babe
you
because
why
people
you
are into
it's
that.
why you do your hair because you want your hair to look nice. It's the same thing of why you run or why you lift. You want to look nice. It's just
Yeah.
why is it different if it's your body or if it's your face or
Yeah.
you get your nails painted or cut your toenails? Like it's all the same thing.
I've had experiences at these circuit parties where I've tried to talk to someone and they've completely blown me off, or we've tried to talk to someone and they've completely blown us off. And we've had times where we have talked to someone and we've walked away like feeling like, oh, we're gonna be friends with that person. And we walked away and we've had conversations where we feel like, oh wow, there's a sexual vibe.
Yeah.
You can't know until you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I think that we've gone to circuit parties and felt rejection or felt
Oh, definitely. I
felt
would definitely say
felt less than because of like an experience. Like I think it's the same if you go or at a
before
bar or anything like that when
bef-
you would try to do something with someone.
before I would say like the chances of me like having a great time and leaving so happy was like 70 to 80%. But I would say lately when we go, it's like 50%. Like it's just in my head when I go to one of those, I'm like, it's 50-50. I'm either gonna have I'm fun or I'm gonna be bored. That's kind of how I
Yeah.
feel now.
Okay. Well, I
But
think
I
that
feel
brings
like that's
us
also
to
comes with age. I don't, I still like them. I don't like them as much as I used to. So it's more about like who we're with and what we're doing and where it is and the music and all that stuff kind of matters now when it maybe didn't matter as much before.
yeah, I think because before it was all new and we were together and it was just us together against the world, and it was just
Yeah.
we'll go, we'll dance, we'll hit on guys, we'll make friends, and now we've done all that, and it kind of brings us to like our last segment, I
Now
think, of
we've
this
done everyone.
podcast.
There's nobody left.
I feel like now I would say we're searching for a little more than the circuit party connections kind of
But
offer.
I think this is where the whole like OnlyFans and porn thing come into play, where we've have had sex with some really hot people, and now it's just like for me, it's like I see a hot guy, and it's not as like alarming to me as it used to be. Now it's like I need that hot guy to like have a personality that I like.
Yeah.
I don't
And
like drool over.
you're not always gonna see the personality at the
Yeah,
circuit party because
yeah.
everyone's on
I think
something.
that's a lot of reasons why I don't love them as much either. Because like
You're not meeting the real person.
yeah, I don't. I need more than just a hot body. When before a hot body was fine.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you're hot, we're dancing, let's go for it, cool.
Yeah.
Now, I would agree. Now
Now
that
I'm more mature. No, I'm just old and tired.
I think after doing studio porn for a while, that is a lot of times like not much intimacy or connection. It's just pure like fantasy performative, which is great.
Yeah.
Now I want that even more. And so if we're gonna go out and go to these parties and really try to connect with someone to like go to that level, um, there needs to be more.
Yeah.
And so it's not as fulfilling as it was before. I'd rather just go to bars with our friends.
Well, it's not as fulfilling because it's
and hang out with you.
we have more on the list, and so it makes it there's less options.
Yeah.
So
Another thing that happened for me is when we were doing it so much back in 2021, I started to, I like when we were doing it so much back in 2021, I started to get depressed and not realize why I was depressed. So we would go to a circuit party, we would come home, I would be depressed, even though we had had a great time. And then, we would probably have a tiff between us. And then all of a sudden, before I had time to process anything, we would be going to another weekend away at another gay party away the weekend, and then I just had this continual cycle of being depressed and not realizing why I was depressed. And I thought like, oh, maybe I'm just a depressed person now. Maybe that's just like me in my 30s. Maybe it's the social media, and
no, it's just manufactured euphoria on the weekends, and then
yeah,
a come down during the week, and then you don't normalize and you do it again.
Yeah, so I ended up like at the time. Oops, I think I just turned my mic up a lot. At the time, like put myself on Lexapro because I was like, oh, I must just be depressed now, and this is just life. And then once I took a step back from all the partying, once I took a step back from partying, I was like, oh, I'm not depressed. I just need to calm the hell down.
Yeah.
And not be doing all these things that are so hard on my body.
Yeah.
And just chill. And after we did that, I felt so much more calm and relaxed. Like those highs were so high, like at the party and the dancing and the sex. And
but as high as the high was,
the low was low. The low was low. And I can be honest about that now and reflect on it and be like, okay, I did the damn thing. But I, at the time, like I put myself on something, and now I don't have to take that because I'm not out wearing
we have
my body
so
out.
Much Lexapro in the cabinet we don't even need.
Yeah. So, and I've talked to a few friends about this that they found the same thing. They're like, oh, I need to stop doing that because I was feeling so depressed during the week.
Yeah.
So,
and my weeks are pretty depressive already now.
So where are we at now? Let's let them know.
We do like a warehouse party once or twice a month.
If that.
Yeah, if that.
like once a month.
Once a month, once or twice,
I mean, we went to our first warehouse party 2 weeks ago. We did 2 in a row, but we hadn't done it in
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah. And then,
So
we'll go to like the prides. Before we used to go to a bunch of prides. We'll go to our pride. We'll probably go to like San Diego Pride. We're going
I
to
would say
World
like
Pride.
2021, it was like 1 or 2 weekends away a month. Now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like once every few months.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like everything's great in
But
moderation.
we also would always go out Fridays or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Now it's like 2 nights a weekend,
Yeah.
1, depending what kind of weekend it is, because there's, but it also depends what you're doing. If it's like just the bars, that's not a big deal. If it's a house party, it's different. But if it's
No, we're just talking about like
but
a
I can
relationship
only
with circuit
like
culture
a
and stuff.
circuit party, a warehouse, I can only do 1 a weekend now.
If
Like
that,
before we would do multiple.
Yeah.
And like even if we would do it every weekend, just 1 a weekend is all I could do ever
And it
again.
used to be like multiple days of Molly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. Yeah, I agree. I think that like I said at the beginning, the hangovers were bad, but we're not here to cancel it. And we're going to World Pride in a couple months. We're gonna have those moments where we do pull all weekends and all nighters.
Yeah, World Pride is one where, we have all the tickets, we have all the parties. But it's even if we go to them all, I don't think we'll do them as hard as we did them before.
Yeah.
You
Fast forward to us at the after parties. If you've been to an after party before, that 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. time slot, if you walk in thinking you're trying to make connections with anybody,
Yeah.
you walk in and it looks like you are in a psych ward. You're got
just a whole
shirtless, cracked out men that haven't slept in 36 hours
Yeah.
that are just like
It's crazy.
bopping around like mummies. It is a sight to be seen.
It is.
It is a sight to be seen. And I've done it and I've had fun, but just looking for a little more. I don't know. Everything's good in moderation, right? Like I wouldn't want to be at the bar.
I would never say I'm not
every
ever.
weekend.
I'm not going to ever say I'm not ever doing it again. Like I know I'll still do them here and there.
Yeah.
Because they're fun. They can be fun, especially if you're in a certain mood. There are times when I'm like, man, I could really go to a warehouse party.
Sometimes you want to just disconnect
Yeah.
and be mindless, and
especially if you have a hard week.
if you had a hard week, yeah.
We work hard, and sometimes you just want to let loose, and that is a really easy way to do it. Especially if you have a lot of friends that go, and it's fun. It can be fun.
Sometimes though, it is like the fast food of intimacy, though.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's quick, it's easy, you overindulge, but at the end of the day, it's not really fulfilling. But don't I think we can drop some of the stigmas of trying to be like one of these circuit queens off of the world. I mean, in any environment, you're gonna have some that are. I've met some assholes. I've met some good people. I don't know. I've had fun. We're still having fun.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm tired a little bit. I'm tired.
We're lucky that we have our group of really close friends like to do that stuff. So it's like we go and there are a bunch of people there that we are close with, that we do know really well, that we feel safe around. So it's, I definitely wouldn't go by yourself.